in file systems, we have seen what is a file, what are file attributes, then how to access file, different accessing mechanisms like sequential access, random access, or direct access, and indexed access or key access. Then we have seen directory. Yesterday we have seen directory structures, single level, two level, tree, or hierarchical directory structure, then acyclic graph directory and general graph directory. We have seen advantages and disadvantages of this directory structures. Next part is file mounting, file system mounting. So file system must be mounted before it can be accessed. Means when you want to merge two different file systems, when you connect your pen drive to your system or when you connect your mobile device to your system and you want the data transfer between one device to other device. For that purpose, the file system of one system must be mounted before it can be accessed. Mounted means attached to the existing system. So it is privileged operation. Means user cannot do this operation. It is a kernel level system calls that can perform file mounting and unmounting thing. If we have to first check for valid file system on a volume. So volume is your hard disk and the space on your hard disk where you want to mount the new device. So first you have to check whether new file system is compatible with existing file system. So it will check with validity of a file system. Then kernel data structure to track mount points. So we have to call kernel data structure or commands, kernel commands, which will check where you can attach new file system. That is called mount point. So we have some systems that have separate designation for mount point. Whenever you connect your pen drive, it is always connected to, suppose on your drive you have C and D. In case of Windows, we have C and D drive. And whenever you connect pen drive, it will be automatically connected as E drive or USB drive, right? Uh, so that is by default. Some system have separate designation for mount point like Windows. Other integrate mount file systems into existing naming system. So you can create your own directory on the existing file system, and in that directory you can add or whenever you connect your pen drive or any other file system should be connected to that particular folder. So you can do that. It is called integration of mount file system into existing directory naming system. So in separate space, that is volume, or within a current namespace. So you can create a separate volume, like in Windows we have different volume, E drive or D drive or G drive, whatever the name is. Or in a existing file system, you can create a space with some folder name. So this is how we connect one file system to other. And to disconnect file systems, we have to call it as demount, unmount command. Unmount file system on device disk is mounted at mount point. So we have find out that in device folder there is a disk. Here you can say. So this is mounted system. This is our root directory, existing file system. Root directory has user directory and it has build, thread, and help. These are the directories or files. And this file system, this is a new file system. Suppose this is on our pen drive, and we want to connect these two file systems. And mount point is say user. So after mounting this unmounted partition here, so in user, now you can find here su, jain, prac, and doc files. So it is just replacing the existing file system with new file system. So if it already has contents, then it will be overwritten. You will lose those contents. So you have to find mount point such that it is free, or you have to create a new mount point. Configuration file or data structure to track default mount points, which is used at reboot or reset mounts. So what if files are open on a device that is being unmounted? Means if you are working in some Word file or say you're creating a presentation for your seminar and the file is on your pen drive, you're typing something, and somebody had pulled that pen drive or removed that pen drive, what will happen? Will the content save on your pen drive, or you lost those changes? And what will happen to that file? That file is already open. So will the file will be lost, or how operating system will treat that? Are you getting the problem? You connected your file system, say here I am taking again and again example of pen drive, because in daily life we are using pen drives. In previous cases we used to show this assignment with floppy disk or hard disk, CD-ROM. You can also connect CD to your system. So I have connected a pen drive, I opened one file and I am modifying or editing that file, and suddenly that pen drive is removed. So what will happen to my file? Will the content save? The system will take a decision. For example, in case of Windows, it creates temporary files after every few seconds or time quantum, and it automatically keeps saving files, and it has previous version. So whenever the pen drive is removed, it has its previous version copy. The current, you will lost the changes that you are currently making, but you will get the previous version of your file. So such decisions operating system has to take. So to mount a file, mount allows two file systems to be merged into one. So we have this file system, and we want to merge another file system. So mount command takes two arguments in case of Unix. So this is the device that you want to connect, and this is the mount point. And at mount point, you are connecting this device. Yeah. You can also connect file systems remotely. So same idea, but file system is actually on some other machine, not on the same machine. You connected pen drive to another machine and you want to access those contents remotely, or you want to access the contents from the remote file system, remote machine. So the implementation uses remote procedure call. The machines need to be connected by any network like LAN, WAN, or MAN. So it should be packed up the user's file system operation, then send it to the remote machine where it gets executed like a local request and send back the answer. So the machines need to be connected, and when you select mount command, that command will pass to that remote machine. Remote machine will execute the command, connect the file system, get the requested file, and send that file back to the machine that you are using. Sharing of files on multi-user system is desirable. Sharing may be done through protection scheme. On distributed systems, file may be shared across network. So why we need mounting? We want to share files from one system to another system, and whenever there is a sharing, we need protection schemes. Network file system is a common distributed file sharing mechanism. We talked on path names in previous session. So to access a file, to open any file from file system, we need its path. Path is the location. We have to go to the directory where file resides. So go to that particular directory and open a file, or you can specify the complete path from whatever the location you are and open that file. Path names, we have seen there are two types of path names: absolute, that starts from root directory, and relative, that starts from current working directory. So most operating systems have two special entries, dot and dot dot. In shell command, I explained you what is dot means. Dot cd dot means it shows you current directory, and dot dot cd space dot dot, that is a shell command, will get back to you to the parent directory. So whenever in even in Windows, if you type dir, you'll see these first two lines are dot and dot dot. So dot means current directory and dot dot is parent directory. most system supports idea of current working directory. So absolute name fully qualified from the root of the file. So for example, I have to give this file name foo.c. So slash user slash stands for root, then user, then groups, and then foo.c. This is absolute path. A relative path is just file name or file name with its parent directory bar/bar2.h. So relative name specified with respect to the working directory. A special name, the working directory itself. You can put dot. We have seen in acyclic graph directory and general graph directory, there is a problem with dangling pointer. What was the dangling pointer? A file has more than one path names or more than one absolute paths. The file is shared or directory shared between two different directories or folders. So that directory or file can have more than one file names, absolute paths. And when that file gets deleted or we want to delete that file, all those pointers need to be deleted. Otherwise, they will be hanging or dangling pointers and point to the wrong area. So allow directory and files to have multiple names in case of a cyclic graph and general graph directories that we have seen yesterday. Links. So these links means these new names or another paths are called links. Links are file names, that is directory entries that point to existing source file. We didn't have more than one file. We just have only one file, but it have multiple names. And these names are stored in directory entries as a link. So in previous session, I have just introduced you with these two links, symbolic link and hard link. Symbolic link means soft link and hard links. Symbolic links are unidirectional, relationship between a file name and the file. The directory entry contains text describing absolute or relative path name of a original file. If the source file is deleted, the link exists, but pointer is invalid. In case of soft link is a single unidirectional link. It points from directory to the file. So it is a directory entry which contains text describing absolute or relative path. And if that file gets deleted, this link exists, but its pointer is invalid. And as the name says, hard links are bidirectional. Bidirectional means it points to the file and file also points to the directory. Relationship between file name and the file. Hard link is directory entry that points to the source file's metadata. It is not pointing to the file directly, it is pointing to the file's metadata. Metadata means information about the file. Metadata maintains reference count of the number of hard links pointing to it and link reference count. It is called link reference count. Link reference count is decremented when the hard link is deleted. File data is deleted and the space is freed when the link reference count goes to 0. Yesterday I explained you this, hard link and soft link. So I like to explain you with yesterday's diagram. Here. So in this case, suppose we take this file list. So for this file list, how many absolute paths are there? What are the paths for this list file? First path is dictionary, then all and list. Second part is dictionary, W and list. And third part is spell, word and list. So in case of soft link or symbolic link, we have two directories pointing to this list file. One is dictionary and another is page. So this dictionary maintains two pointers. One is from all folder and another is from W folder. So there are two soft links pointing to the list. And from spell directly there is one pointer pointing to this list. So these pointers are called soft links. They are unidirectional, from directory to the particular file. Right? But when this file is deleted, these pointers exist in that particular directory, but they are not pointing to the proper position. These are invalid pointers. And in case of hard links, what hard link does? Hard link is not pointing to the directory directly, not pointing to the file. It is pointing to the information related to the file. So initially, suppose there is only one path, so count is 1. When the file gets created, it maintains a count is 1. When new path is added, this count becomes 2. And when third path is added, this count becomes 3. So this pointer is hard link doesn't point to the file directly, it points to the metadata, information related to this file. And when the file, it is deleted from suppose this path, then this count becomes 2. If it is deleted from this path, this count becomes 1. And when it is deleted from this path, this count becomes 0. And then only this memory gets free. We have to delete the particular file and make the memory. So this is the difference between hard link and soft link or symbolic link. Any queries? So again, I am reading this. Symbolic link or soft link are unidirectional, a relationship between file name and the file. Directory entry contains text describing absolute or relative path name of original file. If the source file is deleted, the link exists, but the pointer is invalid. Hard link is bidirectional relationship between file name and the file. Hard link is directory entry that points to the source metadata. Metadata maintains reference count of the number of hard links pointing to it, which is also called link reference count. Link reference count is decremented when the hard link is deleted. File data is deleted and the space is freed when the link reference count goes to 0. I hope you understood what is soft link and hard link. In case of Unix or Linux, it uses hard links. File may have more than one path or path name or path allowed in case of Unix or Linux. We have seen these two commands, rm and mv. Rm is to remove file and mv is to move file. Directory operations and not file operations. These are directory operations. The real name of Unix file is internal name to its metadata. It is known only to the OS. We call file as assignment1.txt or assignment1.java. That is user defined name, what we think the name of file is. But Unix and Linux have symbolic names for every file. And hard links are not used very often in modern Unix practice. Exceptions are there. Linked copies of large directory tree usually set to regard last element of the path as the name of file. So in current versions in modern Unix operating systems, hard links are not there. But in previous versions, there were a cyclic graph structure was supported, so hard links were present. Directory operations, like file operations. In file operations, we have seen how to open a file, how to close a file, read from data from a file, write data into a file, then truncate, seek operation, and tail operation. For directory also, these are the operations on directories. Create. How to create a directory? In Unix, we have seen the command mkdir, make directory. Add and delete entry. Now what we are going to add into the directory? We have to add new file or new directory into a file. So we can create a file using file command, file create and destroy, and we can also create directories and create and destroy. So add and delete means adding new file to a directory or new directory, subdirectory to a directory. Find and list means search a particular file or directory in the current directory, or list all files or directories, or list specific type of files or directories in the current directory. Rename is you should able to change the name without changing anything else. Means internal whatever the directories or files it has, it should remain same. Only you want to change the name. Now you can do it mouse click, right click, and change name. But previously we have to give command rename. Then link and unlink. Add or remove entry point to another entry elsewhere. Means when you can create a directory to mount a new file system or unmount. That is link and unlink. And destroy is remove directory. So to remove a directory, there is a condition. The directory must be empty, otherwise it cannot be deleted with rm command. So we can have another command which will delete all the files or directories and then delete the existing directory. That is again rm-r. R is recursively remove all the files. So we have seen the type of processes there is called orphan process. What is orphan process? The process whose parent completed its execution before the child. All such processes are called orphan processes, and these processes were hand over to the init process, and init process then used to close or terminate these child processes. So similarly, we have orphan directories. A file does not have any directory. Such suppose there is a file. Can we imagine a file without any directory? Can we save your file without any directory? In some operating systems, it is there. So file name, file not named in any directory. So cannot be opened by any application or even operating system, or may not have the name. Such files are called orphan files. There are the tools to check the contents of files or directories, and if there is a problem, find such orphan directories or orphan files and destroy or free the memory which is occupied by these files. This is called FSCK. FSCK is file system check. So it checks and repair file system, check or find orphans, and delete on close attribute in metadata. So this command will check and repair file system FSCK. Special directory entry, we have seen the 2 dot is parent in hierarchy, essential for maintaining integrity of directory system and useful for relative naming. To summarize directory, we have seen fundamental mechanism for interpreting file names in the operating system and widely used by the system applications and user. In shell commands, I explained you the file access rights. Again, it is revised. I'm revising here because the topic is file system and protection is the main important topic of file system, file access rights. So there are 3 types of users: owner or user, which is called, in short, it is called U. Then group of users, as a group they are working on some files or folders. So that is small g. And others or all, it is called O. So three types of users: user, that is owner, group, and others. And three types of permissions: read, write, and execute. In case of file, what is the read command? Read is, it is just allowed to open and look at the contents. Modification or execution is not allowed, only read access. Write access means user can modify the content but cannot execute it. And execute it, you can run. You can convert that source program to object file or executable file. That is execute command. It is in case of file. For directories, these commands are, what is meaning of read? Read is just you can list or find a particular file. Creation and deletion is not supported for read access in case of directories. For write access, you are allowed to create and delete files or directories. And execute access for directories is renaming the directory or modifying its path. So such executable access are given for directories. And two types of files, you know that directory is special type of file, special kind of file, and other files. So directory permissions, read means only list files in the directory, write is adding new files, and execute means access files in the directory. You are allowed to open these uh, files and execute those files. So this is X means execute, W is write, and R is read access. This figure is blurred. I will show you the clear figure afterwards. Whenever you press this command on command prompt or terminal, ls space or dash L, L is listing. It will show this listing of a file. This is file name, this is time of creation, then date, this is size in bytes, then the owner group and owner, and link count. This count is link count, how many paths are there. And this is file type and access permission. So these access permission are written in the form of R, W, X. R is read, W is write, and X is execute. So if you want to give no permission, so all these three bits are 000, so its octal value is 0. If you want to give only execute permission, so this value is 1. So 1 means execute only, 10 means write only, 11, that is 3, means write and execute. These two bits are set to 1. So 1 and 1 means write and execute permission. So 3 means write and execute. 4 means R is 1 and rest W and X is 0. So only read permission. So to give read only, you have to give 4, that is 100. To give write only, you have to give 2, and no permission 0. And all permissions 111, that is read, write, and execute. So this is simple to read. This is read and write permission. This is read and execute permission for file, like this. I want to show you mounting and unmounting code. In OS assignment, whenever you join to the college, we take these assignments in detail, but just for your curiosity, what is mounting and unmounting and how we implement it in our lab, I just want you to go through this. We have seen shell script. Okay, we have seen shell commands. Shell script is a Unix term which is interactive user interface. Shell, we know, shell is, what is shell? Command line interface. It is user interface, and shell is used to translate commands to the operating system. Different types of shells. There are in Unix there are major two types of shells: bash shell, that is sh, and C shell. Bash shell is shown with dollar in Fedora, or you can do when you go to the terminal, you can see this dollar shell, which is bash shell. If you are using the Bourne type shell, dollar character is a default prompt, and if you are using C shell, CSH, then percent character is a default prompt. So what is shell script? As the name says, it is a script or language. Shell script is a list of commands and that you want to execute continuously or sequentially. So instead of giving one command at a time, you can list those commands and save this command as shell file, and you run this shell script. These commands are executed sequentially. So shell script is a list of commands which are listed in the order of execution. A shell script is computer program designed to run by Unix shell and command line interpreter. And you need to save this code as .sh file. And bash, we are using bash. Bash is Bourne again shell. So these are few shell commands. If you go see echo, echo means whatever you type, it will be return you that. For example, on terminal, if I type echo, enter two numbers. So it will display enter two numbers. It is like a printf statement. Whatever you type after echo, it will display those characters as it is. So it is used to display a line of text string on the standard output or a file. It is a string, any finite sequence of characters, letters, numerical symbols, and punctuation marks. Syntax is the command echo, and you can give one or more options and the string. So suppose I give echo and enter two numbers, and read command is read data from a user. It is like scanf command. Or I can directly give this read command, read -p, and enter your choice. So it is read and print. This -p stands for print. If I didn't want to give echo command, I can directly use read with -p, enter your choice. Then to define a variable, as we are using bash shell, we have to use dollar. So in shell, every variable is treated as integer by default. So when the name is preceded by dollar, that means it's a variable. Comments starts with hash, and if you want multi-line comments, you have to use dot dot dot. Now we can also write iterative statements like while loop or switch case. While, the syntax is while, which is a keyword. Then test. Test is again a keyword, and what we want to test, dollar choice means this is a variable, equal to, this is a command, 1 means we have to check whether the choice is equal to 1. Do something, and done is, it is like opening brace and closing brace, end of while. Do and done. Syntax for switch case is case, $ch, ch is a variable, in is a keyword, case, variable name in, echo means 1 stands for if the value of ch is 1, it will print mount devices. If the value is 2, it will print unmount devices. And the opposite of case is end. Closing the case is ESAC. ESAC means end of the case statement. When you are going to perform this assignment, you have to try these commands again. But here just I am explaining you to, you should understand what is mounting and unmounting. So our assignment is write a shell script to implement mount and unmount commands to mount a device and unmount it. So we are going to use following commands. First is DMESG. DMESG will search or list connected devices. So when you run this command DMESG on a terminal, first thing is you need a super user access. You have to run a command su and give a password, so you'll get a super user privilege or access. And then DMESG will show the available devices or mount points where you can mount the new file system. Or you can also try these commands lsblk list blocks -f means file blocks, or fdisk -l These commands also show you available mounting points on for a file system. After DMSG, you will get a device path where you want to mount that device. And then you need to run a mount command. Mount command to attach a device to a system. So mount, then space, then device path, and then pen drive path. So where you want to create a pen drive. The link that is you created to connect your pen drive. And unmount command is used to remove connection from the device. So unmount command has the pen drive path. And lastly, eject command will have a device path. So these are the steps to mount a device. Run SU is super user. Then you have to enter super user password. Then run this DMESG command, and you will see the last line. It will show partitions. Then you have to create a directory. Create a directory for your pen drive which you want to attach to this device. Then you create a directory, check whether directory is created or not with listing command ls. Then change directory to the new directory that you have just created. Go inside that directory. Then check a path present working directory. You will get a complete path, and this path is your pen drive path, $path1. And this d/dev sdb1 is your device path, which you'll get from this dmesg command. Dmesg command will give you the path which partition is available, sdb1 or sdb2 or sdb3, or there are many. So you can get a path which is free. So this is a device path, and this is a pen drive path. You have created an empty directory, and with pwd you'll get the complete path, and you copy that path here. So mount command is mounting a pen drive on above path. So it will connect this path to this particular device. Then you can say ls command, list the contents, go to that path cd and $path1 to move inside the mount point and check ls. Here you can see all the pen drive contents. And to unmount from the path, this new file system, you have to go back to your parent directory with cd come out of our directory, then unmount $path1. So $path1 is detach that file system. You are just detaching that file system. You haven't yet deleted sdb1, and then eject command to delete our directory from the file system. Any queries about mounting and unmounting? In next lecture, we'll see case study of Unix file system.